Hi guys, it's Demi. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please go ahead, like, subscribe, or watch previous videos I have recorded. Today I will be reviewing something that my friends literally invested their entire heart, blood, sweat, motherfucking tears and soul into. I feel like it's just so amazing to be able to call these people my good friends and close friends. They are very much shape-shifting. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but I feel like they are completely creating history, especially with this project they just did together. My good friends Gigi Gorgeous and Cade, known as Gottmik, wrote the tea guide together, and it's actually so funny because I remember when they were working on this, I popped up at Gigi's house and I was just like being nosy. I walked like right into the living room. I just sat there and looked at them, but they were like, "We're writing a book," and I was like, "Oh," and they were like, "But you can't say anything, so whatever you just heard, like, you need to keep it to yourself." I got excited obviously when I found out they were writing a book together and what the circumference of the layout of the book was about. And one day Gigi called me and she was just like, "Kate and I would love for you to write something inside of our book." Oh my fucking god, how amazing. I get to be a published author. What do you want me to write about? And she was like, "Honestly, it's just all about trans experiences." The tea guide, obviously. I kind of sat there for a hot minute and I was like, I guess I'll like jump into my love life. I feel like I have learned so many different experiences with just dating as a trans woman, and I have totally evolved from my confidence of when I was a twink, confused, androgynous little boy in LA to the woman that I am now and the confidence within that. Oh my god, I'll write about, you know, a love story or like a dating story. And then one day I went over to Gigi's. We were, you know, talking and she was like, "So talk to me about what you're writing about for the book." I started to talk to her and then we kind of stopped and she was like, "I definitely feel like you have something way more serious to write about." I'm like, what more serious am I gonna, what the fuck? She was like, your full on moment when you got dragged and beat up. My face at the moment, I remember just like broke, and I looked at her and I was like, oh my god, like how the fuck did I not think about writing about this already? I knew why I did not think about writing that, because I have learned to just like kind of tuck that away within myself. Right now is the 1 year anniversary since I was beat up, literally dragged beyond. Yeah, and I have never come onto YouTube, Instagram, really even talking about it since it happened. Yeah, it took a very long time for me to finally find a moment, be comfortable enough to sit down and talk about motherfucking what went down, or even just talk and share my story, because recovering from that trauma, and it was trauma, it was intense as fuck, and it definitely still has lingered on with me. I've always been like a confident, like I want my friends to take confidence from me, I want people around me to feel electric and like bad bitch or whatever, and ever since that happened to me in that situation, that kind of like, it got really dark, like for a couple months, I mean for a long time after that. Like I had and still do have so much anxiety going to places or like events. I mean, I disguise it very well. I'll take like fucking 3 shots or 4 shots if I have to, just to like dilute like that anxiety of like feeling like I'm looking over my shoulder, who's here, who's there. You know, I never had that before. It still has carried on with me. I'm like sitting here and trying to like find the words to say. I feel like no matter how much I evolve or how much I'm killing it, that will still linger with me, the anxiety of it all, and like something similar to PTSD. Shit has not been the same. It's gotten a lot better, but last year was a really, really fucking hard year for me. Trying to disguise that I was fine and everything was okay, meanwhile everything that was going on in question. Basically, that is what I briefly wrote about inside the tea guide. It is about safety as a trans woman. Why not go ahead and, within all the glory of this book, of what my friends put into it, I would read my personal moment. With no further ado, look how cute. Everything in this book is like, you want to look at like every freaking page. Like, look how sickening. I won't show too much of the book because you need to get it yourself. Flipping on over the part that starts right before me, it is called Your New Life, which is kind of ironic because definitely after this moment in my life, it was a huge, this closing of a book putting that aside and like reopening a new one, rewriting my journey of like trust and like loyalty and decisions and friend groups. This is my chapter, staying safe. My story begins in an underground club in Los Angeles where I had met a cute guy and we were hitting it off. While hanging out, this cute guy, let's call him Sam, said he had a friend on the way. Soon after, a very, very tall gay man, whom I had recognized from events around town, walked into the club. This was Sam's friend. Seeing me and Sam together, he beelined over and split us up. We weren't sure what the problem was, but we ignored him and hooked up for the remainder of the night. Although Sam and I lost touch over the next few months, I ran into him at a house party one night in the hills. We decided to hook up again, and after we split up to meet at his car, I ran into his friend on the staircase. He told me Sam didn't want me and knocked me on the side of my head. I fell and he continued to beat me. He de-wigged me and he dragged me down the stairs, my bag spilling my things everywhere. He ran off after, threatening to attack me again the next time he saw me. And, if I could just add, I put that very lightly. It was blows and blows to the head. My high heels that were lace-ups flew off, both shoes. The wig that was installed and glued from ear to ear was ripped off into pieces. Dress shredded. So I put that very lightly. The night I posted everything I knew about the incident and my attacker, and social media took over the next day. My attacker was publicly recognized, but continued to attend events and make appearances without any questioning. I soon learned the hard way that I was seemingly on my own. Nobody from the party came forward, and the police dragged their feet in assigning anyone to my case. To this day, nothing has happened, and I'm considered a liar by some, even with evidence in my favor. Would the police have behaved differently if I had been a cis woman? It's hard not to imagine that the answer to that question is yes. What makes the story even worse is that my attacker is a gay man, advocating to millions of followers that he's a supportive member of the queer community. What I learned from this atrocious incident is how important it is to protect yourself. If I could give any trans girl advice, I would say be careful and don't assume that others, even when they appear to be allies, have your best interests at heart. It's a ruthless world out there for girls like us, and I am a prime example as to why you should always look over your shoulder. My wounds may have healed, but the trauma will live with me for the rest of my life. He deserves to be behind bars. I don't care how long it takes, but justice will be served before he has the chance to do worse to someone else. Yeah, sorry. I just like had a moment of like remembering shit. That is my contribution to this book. I feel like a lot of the times attacks on trans women, ethnic trans women, and African American trans women solely comes from our own community. Within our community, like a gay man that are, you know, inflicted with having to wonder why a straight man is attracted to a beautiful trans woman and how come they won't hook up with the gay man because of anatomy. It becomes like a very like head-to-head moment. I don't even know what steps could be taken as a community other than sharing awareness and sharing stories. I hope I get justice one day. Like, I've turned evidence in and, you know, everything just kind of went silent, and it's so crazy to, you know, run into people that were there and no one wanted to help me. From stories of like people saying it never happened to guys that were there and witnessed and were screaming like, let's go, while I was, you know, being dragged, and people saying it never happened. People made up lies. People said that I went home with other people in their car, so they were like, that never happened, she came home with us. And I've confronted those people and I've been like, so I'm hearing that you said I went home with you that night in a car with you. And they'll be like, I never said that, I don't know. And they're like, no, you didn't come home with us. Like, yeah, I know I did not go home with you because I know what happened to me. You think these people are your friends and you think these people will do anything for you, but really, this is a game of you on your own and you fending for yourself. Look over your shoulder, and the people that you probably hold close and dear to you probably, you know, I hate to say it, take a second look, you know? Not all the time, but sometimes it's like the most jealous ones that are close by and, you know, allies or a part of the community with us. They're the ones that are gonna do us harm. It's a touchy subject for me. It always will be. I don't know when I will ever like fully go into, if I even will ever go into detail, but it's very close to home, and it definitely feels like a lot, you know, with the Me Too movement, girls that came out that have been raped and assaulted and people saying you're a liar. I felt that. I was firsthand felt that of sharing and trying to find help and trying to get camera footage and reaching out to people that I thought were my friends. No one wanted to say anything. No one wanted to pull camera footage. No one wanted to do anything. Everyone said it never happened. As much as my chapter was obviously serious and like very dear to my heart, there's so many other iconic people that have shared really amazing stories, funny ass stories, trans experiences. And I think this is just like such a genius moment because it's a trans man and a trans woman, and you get both aspects of it. I wish I had this book as a kid because I feel like I was always the kid at Barnes and Noble wandering off into the queer section and looking at books and like turning the pages. If I would have had something like this, walking by seeing a woman and a man in half and then the tea guide, I would have picked this up so fucking fast and flipped through the pages. And I'm so proud of my friends Gigi and Cade. You guys are breaking barriers. I love you. I love you guys. And if you have a story to share with me, comment below. I want to read and see how you can relate, because thank God I'm a strong ass bitch and I will keep on rooting on, because that's me. It's like I always said, you fucked with the wrong bitch. Probably should have killed me, because I'm never gonna fucking stop talking about it. When the police came over and they took pictures of me, when they were leaving, one of them stayed behind and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Thank you." And I said, for what? And he was like, there's just so much of this that happens here and no one reports it. Like no one follows through with anything because they're scared, because they feel, you know, it might end in a even worse situation. He was like, I'll tell you one thing. Thank you, and thank you for documenting this, and I hope you do get your justice. People like that will do it again and again and again until they are caught, because they tasted the taste of freedom of being able to do the malicious attack. Not until they are in trouble or get caught, they will continue that cycle of doing it again and again and again to other women. Yeah, I think it's made me a stronger bitch emotionally. It's made me stronger mentally. It's made me even closer to my chosen family and loyal to them. People that really have my back. It was such an eye-opener here in LA how quick people are to save themselves and pretend nothing happened because they don't want to be affiliated, because they don't want, you know, to be a witness, because they don't want to have to speak on it or be dragged into the situation, the drama, the anything. People would rather keep their mouth shut and keep it moving. With no further ado, guys, if you haven't already, the Tea Guide, it's on Amazon. It's on audiobook, Barnes & Noble, everywhere. So I'll drop a link below of where you can get your copy of the book. A lot of my other friends that contributed to this book have really amazing stories to share, journeys. So with no further ado, guys, I love you so much. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe, stay aware, surround yourself with people wisely. Love you.